Now, when Gabrielle first burst onto the pop scene back in 1993, she couldn't have wished for a bigger or better debut. Her first single, Dreams, sold over 500,000 copies, and her success didn't stop there.
Now, in a career that spanned nearly 15 years, Gabrielle has gone on to have 10 top 10 hits, 3 platinum-selling albums, and has spent a whopping 148 weeks in the singles charts.
Not bad.
It's not bad for an artist who started out singing free in backstreet clubs.
Dreams can come true. Look at me, babe, I'm with you. You know you got to have hope. You know you got to be strong. Just look at my hopes, look at my dreams. I'm building bridges from the seas. Now I'm ready to rise again. And if you ever fall in love again, now baby, you must be sure that the lady in the world in my reach, I can see there's a life out there for me.
Do you know, it's really quite refreshing
is.
watching that, because normally we have people who sit in here and they'll go, oh God, look at where those are. But you were loving that.
I'm totally unashamedly proud of all of those tracks, and like, but I realised how much younger I was. You're looking and thinking, oh my God, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Totally.
You're looking very good, girl.
Thank you very much. So are you, though. Gorgeous.
Do shush.
Especially in the
Oh, the pair of
No,
you.
I know.
Mega gorgeous.
We are fabulous, aren't we?
We are.
Anyway.
So you never imagined that Dreams was going to be so massive?
Not at all. I tell you what happened. In the earlier days, there was a white label that had been printed up with about 50,000 copies. And I never got a penny from it. There was a lot of dispute with the producer, and he kind of nicked it, etc. Anyway, cut long story short, when I was telling my friends I'd been signed to a new label, they were like, why do you want to bring it out for? Everyone's got it. So me being totally naive to the fact that, you know, how many people live in England, etc., it was like, I started getting depressed. And then it wasn't until it came out and it was like, OK, we're going to have a huge chart entry here. And the record company were more prepared than myself. So when it happened, I mean, never in my wildest dreams, I couldn't have actually dreamt or even thought about entertaining the idea. So it was fantastic.
Because it was also the thought at the time of a look back at all the people who said, it will never happen, you can't make it.
And there were a lot.
Look at me now.
Yeah, complete. I mean, I had this whole thing of, from when I was growing up, and, you know, having a lazy eyelid and people saying, haha, sniggering at me, that I dared to want to have the ambition of wanting to be a singer, which is something you're in the public eye. And I thought, to hell with them, because it was my dream and my vision and my passion. I never wanted to be famous, I just wanted to sing. And the idea that somebody could, you know, not just one person, many people said, oh, you know, they were singing at me. You know, you couldn't have that ambition, you know, for the way I looked.
If you were less than perfect.
Yeah, precisely.
Good heavens.
And then the fact that I was able to kind of be catapulted straight into the #2 position, then the following week, the #1 position, and all the people that I was too afraid to tell them I was actually pursuing my career, I was secretly really pleased, because see my picture on buses, at every kind of traffic light in the days when they could fly post without, you know, without it being illegal. Now you don't see as many. And it was fabulous, you know. And then the idea of actually I was in the Guinness Book of Records for the, that, I mean, come on. I mean, I'm going to be chuffed to my old age and beyond, and for my grandchildren now, and all the gits out there who are the non-believers. So I'm holding on to that forever and a day.
The other refreshing thing about you is that you still fly below the radar. You
Always.
You're not at the showbiz parties,
No.
you're not in the gossip columns. Were you never seduced into that?
No, I tell you what it is. And, you know, when I first came out, just me and my mum, so I'd kind of go to the odd thing. And as time went by, I had my son, and I preferred to be at home than, you know, if I wanted to see a movie, I didn't need the world to see me on a red carpet to go and watch a movie. I preferred to have the privacy of not everyone knowing what my child looks like. And for me, I've always been comfortable. And I actually had a horrible experience the other week going to one of the Girls Aloud's parties. They had a little do, and it was after a show I'd done. Everyone's like, come, and I'm like, no, I don't do those things. And I now say, anybody who you see fallen down, you know, and it's been taken by the paparazzi, they were blinded, they just couldn't see, because I walked into a door, paparazzi had pulled open the car door. As we pulled up, and I didn't even pull up directly outside the club, it was down a little bit from the club. eating mango in the car thinking, I'll get ready to go in a minute with a friend. And I thought, you know what, I respect all those people who decide, you know what, the paparazzi are always following them, but they still choose to live their lives. Because me, I'm like, I don't want to go out again. So, you know, I actually prefer being totally under the radar so I can do all the normal things that I've been able to do for the last 15 years.
So you can dress down and not be this Gabrielle, you can be
totally,
the mum Gabrielle.
Completely, and I love it, you know, and nobody pays any attention to me, which is great.
Well, you mentioned, you just said a couple of seconds ago, you mentioned the lazy eye, and that's because, so that's why you have the trademark sunglasses.
Yeah, the sunglasses, because when I first came out of the eye patch, it was a case of, right, how do we get you into interviews without you looking like this young upstart who feels, you know, who thinks a lot of themselves, you know, they'll see me as a new artist, she's wearing sunglasses, who does she think she is? So the eye patch was devised that I could still have eye contact with my interviewer, so it was quite a vulnerable thing to do, because it showed, I mean, my mum was mortified. She's like, what do you mean? You know, after all these years of me having to deal with you coming home, I was never a tearful child, because I'd go and like tell them all the horrific things that I might have had in an op, and so I'd scare the kids in school, I'd be like, and I've had this done. So it was a case of, I was happy to actually have my good eye exposed, my lazy eyelid, which would make me look like I was falling asleep during an interview, so we didn't want that.
Oh, we've had that, though.
We did have somebody who fell asleep. Yes.
And this album, this is the first album since, was it 2004?
I believe so.
I mean, as Fern says, you know, you do manage to keep yourself under the radar, but that's landed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is, I've been pretty consistent. The first album was 93. The second was 96. Rise actually came out in 99 and didn't kind of launch properly until 2000. So, you know what I mean? I've never kind of, it's not unusual.
So in 15 years, 5 albums is about right for you?
About right.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic as well, that you haven't got the ego that says, I've got to get out there, I've got to get them loving me. So you can craft it and enjoy it and take your time with it. And then for Jordan, your son, he's 12, I think.
He's
now,
12
isn't he?
now. 12 going on 24.
Of course. Does he... Because this thing with kids, isn't it? They're either terribly embarrassed about you, or why aren't we doing enough? Because we don't do enough at all. You...
No, we're the same. You know, you
Yes.
get invited to stuff and the girls will say, well, we invited to that. Well, yes, but I didn't want to... What?
No, my son, he's totally oblivious to what, you know, the invites or the things I refuse to do. I only like things outside of singing. I just don't go. And he's pretty cool. I mean, from a young age, I kind of taught him to say, you know what, you don't need the hassle. So if people come up to you, just deny. And it got to the stage, he'll say, oh, Mum, someone came up to me in school today and they asked, you know, is your mum Gabrielle? And he'll be like, you got the wrong kid. So he's so cool like that. He's 12 and it's like, it's not about Mum. She can't get me, an invite. I mean, we went to watch Chelsea, but if I could bring the whole of Chelsea Football Club home, I'd be super cool.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen, son.
Well, how is it going to be when you go out on the road? Because you've got a tour coming up,
That's
haven't you?
right.
So how will he feel about that when you're away from home?
He's used to it. I'm never away from too long. I think the longest I've been away is probably about 10 days to 2 weeks, and pretty much as soon as I can, because it's in the UK, I always come back home. So if there's like one morning that I can kind of get in early hours, have my own shower in my own bathroom and sleep in my own bed, then I'm happy. And even if I sing for a few hours, have to go off again, great. I mean, they're happy. I mean, he's happy with that.
And your mum is a fantastic grandmother. She's there
Completely.
as well. It's just the three of you together, isn't it?
I couldn't function without her.
Yeah,
Completely.
well, mums are brilliant. So what are Jordan's ambitions?
I mean, you know, it kind of changed every day. He's a footballer. He's like, I want to sing with, I want to kind of play for you on stage because he plays piano. So, you know, it's changed of all because of the fact 12. It's like tomorrow, I don't know what it's going to be. Yeah. But whatever he wants to do, I'm just very happy with, you know, I'm happy to support him because of the fact he's quite a bit of a clever clog, unlike myself. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my dreams. He's fabulous. So
you're going to sing a track from the album a little bit later on.
I certainly am.
And the album is Always. What are you going to sing for us?
I'm actually going to sing the title track, Always.
Fantastic.
One of my faves.
Great. We'll stick around then in that case.
Great to see you. I'm very pleased to meet you at
Dose yourself up with a bit of honey and lemon. We can sort all that out for you.
Yeah,
no
start
problem.
gargling.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Gabrielle.